What's it called?
Something profane.
He wouldn't have it any other way.
That's true.
I don't know if there's anything beyond the light. Afterlives after afterlives or whatever you. But if there is, I imagine he's causing one crazy ruckus there.
Spoilers, there is not. He is gone. Yay! Alright, so I guess I'm going to Ironwood? Or no, I need to go get Tyr first. So where's Tyr? Tyr on Warcraft code. Niflheim, you got it. Ciao, Warcraft code. Yeah, I thought he was dead too. But I was wrong. Dead wrong. Alright, Niflheim, Niflheim. Up. There it was. Where am I going? Where am I going? There are not many places I can go. Well, okay. Yeah, before my health started, torpedoing, I actually had long hair. Thank you, King Venom Mui, again and always. Very much. Oh, right. Let's just stand here. And if you'll give me a second to see what you donated towards. Let's see. King Venmui says, I hate you, you suck, you're worthless, and you're stupid. Want you to die in a fire. You got it. I will put that towards Assassin's Creed Valhalla as a reminder. We do have plural voting up, so you can put it towards up to 3 things if you would like to. There's no detriment for doing so. If you have any questions, you can type !plural into chat and get an explanation for it.
Hey, near the little shop I'm running out in the Alpine Desert, there's something y'all are probably gonna want to see.
Better keep taking a look at this, she say.
New mother, new fate to suffer.
Yeah, okay, so that's creepy and weird. Moving on.
Look there. That path wasn't there before, was it?
No.
Might be worth exploring then.
You got it. Dragon Age 4 and Dragon's Dogma 2. And Dragon Age 4. I was actually thinking about during the lunch break, there's another hint that I missed. It's when Odin immediately recognizes Kratos' spear as Brock's work. Remember that? When he confronted him in Svartalheim? Like, why would he even know who Brock is?
Shop in the Alpine Desert? Something you might want to see out there.
Hang on a minute. Is this a prison?
It would seem so.
Let's continue. Might be something useful inside. This place goes deep. We should head downward.
Ah, yes. I'm sure there's nothing especially dangerous at the bottom of an Asgardian prison.
It's fine.
Master is no more. Be at peace. Have it your way, then.
I suppose that's true.
If the Einherjar survived Ragnarok, Perhaps some of the inmates did as well.
Let us find out.
Yeah, we're in post-game. The nightmarish hell that is post-game.
There must be a way to reach the lower levels. Just need to find a way down.
Yeah, can we just jump down? We're Kratos.
Behind you!
Yeah, they have to go to Valhalla. Odin promised. He said we'd go to Valhalla.
Dwarf.
Recognize him, Mimir?
I do not, sadly. Of course, the Einherjar disappeared a fair few dwarven rebels during the occupation. I suspect this is one of them. Enemy on the left!
Behind you! Look out!
That's a good question. What has the Santa Monica studio done other than the God of Wars? Real question. I honestly don't remember right now. But to answer your question, and no, I didn't do the secret fight on camera. If I was given charge of the franchise from a creative perspective, you know what I'd do. I'd go to Egypt. But hang on, that's not what you asked.
Careful, brother. These prisoners may not be as grateful for their freedom as one would hope.
You're free! You're free! Be free! Be free! Be free from the torment that is life! Sorry. So I really do think Egypt is just the correct call. Not just because I like it, but the more I've actually thought about it, like as a manager, as a executive perspective, I think Egypt is the correct location to go to next. Having said all that, what I would do is I would sit on it for a bit.
Another chain. Shall we find out what this one does?
I wouldn't actually make a new mainline game, probably for a while. Like, really let people just kind of sit and enjoy the franchise, and let it get to the point where the buzz around God of War 5 has died down, and we kind of move forward to the point where...
That's an elf, but not a particularly high-ranking one. So what did Odin have to gain by imprisoning them?
I'd say information, but why keep them locked up afterward? Why not just kill them?
Oh, okay. Yeah, don't be like Pokemon. Just give it a bit. Give it some time. You want the... If you look at the chart, there's player... like, there's the saturation of the content, and there's the interest of the audience, right? You want to actually kind of have a middle ground there. You want audience interest to remain, but you don't want saturation to be too high or low, right? So, right now, God of War's still riding a high, even though Ragnarok came out a bit ago. Let it ride that high for a bit, and let that dip down until it gets kind of down here, so we don't have much God of War content, and then wait a little bit longer after that to allow the interest to start pulling back up in the absence of game. Now, you don't want to wait too long either, because if you wait too long, the interest actually plummets at an escalating rate. The longer a game waits to come out, the worse it tends to get. That's near universal. That's true for movies and books and shows, songs, plays. It's just true in general. So don't wait too long, but you want to hit that high mark, and then bam, hey, so we're making a new God of War game, and just have this shot as you're like, you know, watching someone walking through the desert. Don't announce what it is. I can picture the trailer in my head. There's sands everywhere, and don't have the typical music. Don't make it identifiable as Kratos. Just have someone stumbling through the sands, and as they're going, they're like, oh my god, and they stop at an inn, and there's people there, and they're like, oh, thank you very much. Take the water. Oh, take a drink. Oh, okay. And it's like a 20-year-old guy, right? Just a completely bog standard person. Like, you don't really know who this person is. And he's just, oh, thank you. Whew. What are you here for? Oh, you know, nothing in big. I'm looking for any giants. And it turns out that it's Atreus. And Atreus has made his way all the way down to Egypt in his search for the missing giants. And then just kind of segue that into a combat section, and you get it, right? That is the direction I would take it. And so I suppose that answers your question. I've put too much thought into this. Forgive me. I would predominantly have it focused on... on Atreus, like I just kind of gave away. I think not only does Kratos deserve his rest, but honestly, I think saving Kratos for when he's really best used, rather than just focusing on another God of War game, is the correct choice there. Fine. No. Kratos would be in God of War 6, don't mistake me. He just wouldn't be the main character. Think about it this way. The Princess Peach sections are going to be the Kratos section. In fact, I picture a particular boss fight somewhere along the lines, which Atreus and whoever he meets down there, I don't know, we'd have to workshop it, but whoever's companion is in the journey, meet a boss they're just having issues with. They just cannot deal with it for whatever reason. And as they're struggling with it, Atreus starts to realize he's screwed. He's got this thing, which he pops. Kratos pops in. We switch to playing as Kratos, and you just body the boss, just right in the face.
A flower.
Who was he?
I don't know. A gardener, perhaps? Dreamshade is difficult to keep alive, even under the best conditions, but this... He gave all his strength to keep it alive.
Then it is right. You should have it.
I actually haven't seen any rumors, CyberXL, so I don't know. Fine. I would keep it secret that it's a God of War game. I would just be there's a new trailer. I've said this before and I'll say this again. There's a fine art to an announcement, to a reveal trailer, and the more understated it is, the more impact it tends to have. You don't say there's God of War news in 3 weeks. Make sure to watch the God of War news. Bliggly blig. All that does, historically speaking, and this is true mathematically even, is it lowers interest once the actual reveal hits. Especially for people who weren't waiting for it. If you have no expectations walking in, then all the viewers have is whatever they pull from the trailer itself. So the trailer can sit on its own. It can actually exist in its own space. You don't have any pre-built hype or negative hype or expectation or anything. Now, having said that, understatement has its place just like overstatement does. There is such a thing as proper market saturation. Once you get to a certain level of acknowledgement, that's when you start to think, okay, do we want to go ahead and how much do we want to push?
Odin hid something here. I know.
Push knowledge of the game into public consciousness. So, how many of you get irritated when something's getting close to release and there's just ads everywhere for it? I'll raise my hand on this. However, speaking as a marketing guy, it's worth noting that that's done for good reason, and I would do the same thing for the same reason. Because that shotgunning of trailer, that's not for us. We know the game's coming out. We've already made up our minds about it. That's to make sure that other people don't know about it. People who don't pay attention to gaming news, people who don't watch streams, people who don't read interviews or do go to podcasts or keep up on the news, right? That's for the other people to make sure that they are aware of the game coming out. And that's how you push that kind of a thing. Now, there's still a talent to that, as there is everything else, but that's why that kind of shotgun marketing works. Or why it happens, excuse me.
We should find a way to the cell on the other side.
It's for the normies. I mean, I wasn't going to say that. I would absolutely have Sindri be in a future game. No question. No question at all. How? What? You want me to go up to go down, game? God damn it. Fine. We'll go up to go down. I remember when StarCraft 2 was announced. They did not announce that it was StarCraft 2. I mean, you get my point. It wasn't like, and now the StarCraft 2 announcement. No, it was just a video. And then we saw that frickin' Marine suit. It's a good trailer, too. Like, a really good one. I mean, of course it is. It was Blizzard's CGI team. Whoops. Yeah, exactly. Sindri's story has to keep going, as weird as that may sound. His story hasn't ended yet. It's kind of hit the midpoint, actually.
Why, that's the dwarven sound device Sindri used during the Battle of Ragnarok. We might still find use for it yet.
Well, there's the... Word of mouth is and always will be the most successful marketing tactic in the modern age because of how interconnected we are as a species at this point. But relying on that is rolling the dice. Because you're relying on enough people getting a hold of the game initially to get word out. Well, hang on. Enough people who get it, who like it, who then are the kind of person who will get word out, who will then like it and also get word out. A lot of deliberate word-of-mouth campaigns die before they actually get anywhere because they just didn't have the momentum to get going. Which is why I'm very in favor of word-of-mouth campaigns, but I would rather not rely on them completely if I was pushing out a game. Excuse me. So how do I... Yeah, exactly, Narcissus. Also true, Cyber Exile. Which is probably why a lot of AAA developers don't go that way. Or publishers, excuse me. Nevertheless, there is something to be said for having, I can't think of the word all of a sudden. Having faith in your product. And viewers and players and people in general tend to respond well to demonstrably having faith in your product.
Use a shield strike, brother!
Hi-Fi Rush is a good example of a game that had a lot of faith. What I mean by that is, anytime you see someone release a game for people to play, but there's a review embargo, then they don't have faith in that game. If they don't give out release copies at all, then they don't have faith in that game. If they try to have constant ads that don't really show the gameplay of it, or don't really focus on the story, or just kind of have big flashy stuff, they don't have faith in it, etc. People in general tend to respond well to a game that clearly knows what it's doing and how it's going to do it. Okay, just double checking. And no, Narset. I
can't believe it.
Wait,
don't know.
that can't be.
I'm sorry. I'm actually angry at Papaneeks now. Right now. Right now I'm angry at Papaneeks. Because that would have been a hell of a reveal. A near-perfect reveal. We're just going through this prison, making our way down. We open the door, and Tyr's just right there. That would have caught me right across the knees. Because I had no inclination that he was even a factor.
Lord Tyr.
Is this an illusion?
No, brother. No, I think it's the real deal.
Mimir? Is that you, old friend?
In all the important ways, aye.
There was such a commotion. If Odin learns what you've done...
Odin is dead.
The realms are at last free of him. You're safe.
Odin's dead.
And Asgard fallen.
So the reign of the Aesir is truly over. That's quite a lot to take in.
Now that I'm looking for it, I can see the accent on the
His
Y.
name is Kratos.
Kratos. I know that name.
Come. You need real shelter. Food.
No. No, what I need most now, I think, is to reflect on what you've told me. I need space, if you would grant me that.
Very well. Our home is in the realm between realms for the moment. You can find us there when you're ready.
Kratos. I know you from somewhere. I'm sure it will come back to me.
Until then.
Well, Tyr's alive. Are we, What's funny is I was going to go to Niflheim next anyways, because it was the next thing people suggested. I was like, alright, let's do it.
I appreciate your concern, but I'm fine. I guess we all are. But I would love to be alone for a moment.
Okay, so, let's see. So there's the desert in Alfheim.
That was truly him.
It's hard to trust anything after what we've been through. But with Odin gone, I have no cause to doubt it.
Our paths will cross again. Of that I'm sure.
So rather than just, like, try to make you feel worse, Papaneeks, do you mind if I give some constructive criticism? Something I've been practicing, especially this year, as my nieces and friends of mine are getting into franchises I know very well that they've never even encountered. I've been trying to practice the rule of no context spoilers. A no context spoiler is actually really, really easy to explain because all you have to do is say, let's say with FF7, right? I can give a no context spoiler right now because all I have to say is, I'm trying to think of like the perfect way to say this. Falling off the cliff. And that's all I have to do is say something like that. Now, if you know FF7, you're like, ah. And if you don't, there's no context, so it's not a spoiler. To use this exact example, What you could have said is you could have said, have you been to Niflheim yet? And I could have said, well, no, I was going there next. And you could be like, okay. And that's it, right? Have we been to Niflheim yet? Make sense?
Well, now we know what this
Yeah.
prison's
Have you
for.
seen the slap fight?
This is where Odin stashed those he would camouflage himself as.
Makes sense. If you're going to imitate someone, you wouldn't want them walking around.
Why not kill them?
He must need them alive in order to assume their form.
Aye. Odin likely wanted Tyr dead for a multitude of reasons, but he knew Tyr would be more useful alive.
Your god of war has truly returned. What now?
He'll want to stretch his legs, I imagine. Imprisonment stokes wanderlust. Not that I need to remind any of us of that.
That's another good one. Belay that order
New items?
for StarCraft 1.
Today's your lucky day.
Yeah, exactly, Zara. There's a new road. You could have literally said there's a new road in Niflheim. Go check it out. And I'd be like, oh, okay, sure. We'll make that our first destination. No context, no spoilers. I'm really not trying to make you feel worse here, Popanix. I'm honestly trying to just embark some of the wisdom, I guess, that I've gotten, that I've been practicing this very year. Because I really do feel like there's a bit of an art form to no context spoilers, and I also think that there's a value in them, too, because it's so easy to talk about stuff and talk around things, just in case, just as a respectful thing, just as a curiosity, not curiosity, a way to contain a conversation without ruining it, right? That's a good question, Latario. That would have been worse. Yeah, I had to think about it for a second there, John Garage. I think Kratos and Freya would make a good couple. Yeah. Like, they're not there yet, but yeah. Let's see. So Alfheim. Desert Shop. I don't actually know where the Desert Shop is. So, here. Anyways, at this point in time, I could say, yes, we have found Tyr.
I look forward to exploring Alfheim and not having to fight elves.
Oh? What makes you think that's an option?
They've united, haven't they? What possible reason would they have to attack us?
Sorry to say, but there are still plenty of elves out in the Barrens eager for conflict.
But why? Freyr united them. They fought together at Ragnarok.
For those who have spent their lives in combat, peace is not always an option.
Sorry, I forgot your earlier question, Morgantus. So what thoughts so far? A very good story that is one of the best presented stories I've ever seen, with a dull and disinteresting core gameplay loop that is very well polished. I would say that the quality of life features in this game are through the roof. Like, it's some of the best gameplay design I've seen, surrounding a core gameplay loop that I find incredibly disinteresting. With regards to your second question, grinding for gear, I generally consider that to be padding, but to clarify the statement slightly, grinding doesn't necessarily mean, just running in a circle, right? There's a lot of different forms of grinding that we've seen over the years and years and years of game design. Core gameplay loop. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. There you go, there's your core gameplay loop in this game. Puzzle solving. I personally find no value in grinding at all. I would much rather either earn my upgrades through story beats or through accomplishing feats. Difficult boss fight gives great gear, or doing an extra optional puzzle gives you extra optional thing. That's the kind of thing that works for me. But the catch here is that the definition of grind is dependent on the individual. So your definition of grind might be different from mine, right? Because the definition of grind, for those of you who never heard me say this, is any repetitive task you do not enjoy. And that can apply to a lot of things. Some people enjoy, running in a circle. I know people who really, really like the daily grind over in Spiritfarer, for example, or leveling in EverQuest, to use another example, but obviously other people don't. So, yeah, Netherwing eggs. Oh my god, Netherwing eggs. You get the point. Where am I? Not where I want to be. I went to the wrong frickin' one, didn't I? Yeah, there are people who enjoy Banjo-Kazooie. I am not one of those people. I'm just going to be honest about that. Doesn't make me right. Doesn't make me wrong. That's just me. That's why I defined grind so specifically, Geludo. Because grind is all about what you personally consider to be a waste. If you enjoy the process of running around and getting all the frickin' Kajooies or whatever they are in Banjo-Kazooie, then you enjoy it. Did I dislike the core gameplay loop in Greece? Nope. Quite the contrary. God of War 3 is still one of the highest ranking games I've ever reviewed on the gameplay axis. Just on the gameplay axis. A fact which I stand behind, by the way.
Oh, good timing. Remember that thing I said you was gonna want to see? You better go feast your peepers before it's over.
Where is it?
Hell of a job you did at Ragnarok, General. Wish I could have been there to see you and Sindri take down Thor and Odin.
That is not what happened.
Yeah, maybe not, but it's the story I like best. Important thing is, Odin's paid in full for what he did to Brock. I know it doesn't fix what's broke, but it ain't nothing.
I mean, not invalid.
Hello, Lunda.
Hey, goddess. About your brother. I never got the chance to tell you. I know moments like this you're supposed to say sorry and whatnot, but I always known that pretty man had greatness in him. That he'd do something amazing one day, and I'm just... You know, I'm proud that now the Nine Realms know it too.
I thank you.
Anytime, ma'am.
It's slow, the controls are bad, the camera's bad, and I find the enemy design and combat design in general lacking. I also think the kit is lacking. The game... I talked about this earlier. The game feels like a halfway point in between Dark Souls and God of War. God of War is a beat-em-up at its very, very core, which is all about very carefully manually comboing and timing your attacks into and out of each other while having direct control of yourself while the camera's nice and zoomed out so you can tell what the hell you're doing, and navigating the terrain of the combat arena. In this case, terrain mostly meaning just where the enemies are and what kind of attacks they use and stuff like that, right? God of War 1 was okay in core combat, but 2 and 3 really nailed that aspect. And it was all about the execution, the specifics of enemy design, enemy variety, and counter design, yada yada yada, right? This game falls, like, trips at every step I just mentioned. The enemy design isn't bad, but there's just not that much to most of the enemies in this game. The enemy variety isn't bad, but there's actually just not that much enemy variety in this game. The encounter design is actually what I would call actively bad. They don't really think about how encounters should function. They just throw a bunch of enemies at you. They also have too many of those encounters, and so forth and so on, right? So they just trip. They just trip at every step of the line. Hence why I say the core gameplay loop, which is actually like several different categories of things, all just kind of stumbles a little bit. If they had gone full God of War, it sounds awesome. If they had gone full Dark Souls, I think that would have been awesome too. I feel like... I agree with you, CyberXL. I feel like if this had just been, alright, let's make this a Souls-like, and commit to that, I wouldn't have nearly as many issues with it as I do. As is, calling it bad is not something I'm 100% prepared to do. Lord knows I've played much worse games than this. Even just on the combat side of things. But the core combat is sufficiently disengaging that I just kind of didn't want to do it at pretty much every step of the way. It is clearly not the focus of the game. which is fine. They wanted to tell a story, and they did, and it's a damn good story. But the combat itself just, it's not there, in my opinion. Anyways, thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Wait a bloody moment. Is that...
Thor's hammer and his daughter.
I'll make you proud, Dad.
Well, she lifted the thing, and she's off.
Well, good for her.
Interesting. I know, right, Narsa? It's very strange. No, this is not getting a replayability positive. I apologize. This is a really, really, really good story. I think it may actually set a record for best story access score. Oh, speaking of which, I'm going to go ahead and chop off the guessing game basically now. But to help you with that, why don't I update the HUD? So I'm going to give you one last update to the HUD so you can kind of adjust your guesses as you see fit. Because our story points are up to here. Now, we're not done with the audit yet. It's always the last thing we do for a reason. But as of right now, that HUD is accurate. So, get your guesses in. I'm going to chop it off, let's say when we load the next zone. So yeah, let's go to Ironwood as
How about that?
Pika suggests.
Didn't I tell y'all there'd be something to see?
I mean, the story's legit. I have issues with it, and the story is still legit. It's very rare to see a story that nails both content and execution this well. It's good character and good character presentation. It has a neat moment that is well executed in animation and in voice acting, right? The vehicle of the presentation itself is good, and the actual core story is good. That is, I stand by that score. This might be the highest story score we've ever seen, not just in literal terms, but I mean like just from vague memory, right?
Feels half crazy to say it, but I got a good feeling about that Thrud girl. Never minding what family she came from.
I quite agree. She's an impressive young woman.
I thought you might. Why, I ain't never seen anyone quite so awestruck as when she laid eyes on you back at the hole. Like meeting her idol.
She was apparently quite eager to learn from all the Valkyries. Now that she has Mjolnir, I expect her next stop will be to begin training with Sigrun.
I think Brock and Sindri would be happy knowing that hammer's finally with someone worthy to wield it. And a future Valkyrie, no less.
Lunda.
Hi there. I wanted to ask, do you want me to stop talking about your muscles and how you look and stuff? Because it seems like it's making you all wiggly, like in a bad way.
It did, but no longer.
Oh, okay. So I should stop? Sounds like I should stop.
No.
Oh, all right, handsome. You beefcake?
Yeah, we get it. Kratos is hot. You notice one of the things they're doing here, which I do approve of, is they're kind of wrapping things up. Don't mistake me, there's still stories that can happen, but this kind of feels like a happily ever after. The realms are legitimately on the path to being better. The 8, I kept wanting to say 9, the 8 realms are actually going to start recovering. And they've got good people in charge, and they've got, you know, a dedicated crew, and they know each other, and they're working, and yada, yada, yada. So, it really does feel like they're trying to lean in that direction. It makes sense, considering the studio themselves flat out stated they do not want to do another God of War game. And as I've already said, I'm cool with that. Hypothetically. Okay, so next was Ironwood. Which is not even on this list. Cool. Alright, so next we'll go to Midgar. Let's see, where's our house? Be over here. Greece is... so we don't know what happened after we left Greece.
Almost missed it.
But Greece kind of got apocalypsed.
Still dwell there.
Sounds like a plan.
Like, Greece got kaklonked, is what happened. We have done an event in Svartalheim. I have played The Last of Us 2. I was not a big fan of it, story-wise. Yes, Act.
What is it?
Mementos from Atreus' journey.
What will you do with it?
Add it to our own. His story is ours, and ours is his.
Too right, brother.
Yeah, you'll notice, so someone asked about the rift and why that's unresolved. Well, I mean, even, like, of course you're going to leave some kind of dangling threads for a future sequel. And you notice they've got several dangling threads left here, but... I think Last of Us 2 was a problem. I don't want to spoil here, Morgantis, because unrelated spoilers. But I think that the first half of the story was lacking, and the second half of the story was actively awful. Gameplay-wise, the first half was actually really, really good. Like, I was really impressed with it. But the problem is, it was a one-trick pony. You know what I mean? Like, the stealth sequences and the takedowns and all that was really, really cool, but it never varied. And so every encounter was the exact same encounter. It got old. Yeah, and then them doubling down against criticism and the noise fest got started about that just makes me roll my eyes, which I guess I just did. Last of Us 1? Is a game I've never reviewed, so I don't think I could speak about it at length. I will say I wasn't as impressed with it as most of the universe. In fact, it was a forbidden game for a while.
Hello! Boss wants a word? Yeah, fucking jackass. Over here.
Congratulations on preventing the end of non-Asgardian reality itself.
Hello, Ratatoskr.
Hello, Master Kratos. What you've accomplished for these realms is truly something I never thought possible. Rest assured, good Master Brock would be proud beyond measure, even if only to express it in his love language of profane non-sequiturs. But he is terribly missed.
Yes, he is.
Now, there is one rather interesting development to apprise you of. The detonation of Asgard shook the world tree to its very roots, dislodging a great number of realm seeds. I thought you might wish to have them. My little way of saying, thank you for preventing my death by immolation.
You are welcome.
Cool. And yes, that was Pro ZD, obviously. You know what irritated me the most about The Last of Us 2? Other than the stupid. It was that people constantly said that the only reason I didn't like the game was because I was fond of a particular character, which is demonstrably and objectively untrue. I even have ways to prove that. And yeah, then there was the whole diversity thing, and it's like, it reminds me of the second to most recent Ghostbusters film. You remember the junk one? You know the one. That film sucked because it was a crap film. Not because it had a cast of women. That has nothing to do with anything. It was just a crap film. But we couldn't make fun of it. We couldn't mock it. We couldn't deride it. We couldn't level actual criticism of it at it. because of the noise. Hey, now we can go there. Yay. But first, I'm being told to go back to Midgard, so let's go back. Where is Freya's place? I actually don't know where... Oh, there it is. I think. Yep. Right next to that Mystic Gateway I do not have unlocked. Cool. Exactly, Dante Bronson. Yeah, diversity is not a shield. It shouldn't be a shield. I'm pretty pro-diversity. Anybody who knows me knows. I am pretty damn pro-diversity. You don't get to just make something that's crap and then defend it by saying, well, doesn't work that way. It's actually a valid point, Kay. You're right. It's not a shield. It's a club.
We must always be on the hunt for resources.
Let's go. We're heading back to Charlie?
Yes.
He's not going to be very happy with me.
No.
Hey, Charlie. That tree is coming in lovely. Okay, I'm sorry. Imagine you find a shield in a God of War game, see around Dark Day. And you're like, I've got this shield. And it's called the Diversity Shield. It doesn't block, it doesn't parry, and it has 0 defense.
I'm sorry, I have no excuse for neglecting you. I will do my best to earn it.
The Wedge of Destiny. Poor Charlie. Okay, Charlie, it's okay. You're okay now.
I know, but I can't stay. There's still things I must do. Kratos, I should look for someone who can watch over him.
Agreed.
Permanently.
More like we're under it. It's a better way to put that, Magister. Under him? Yeah, if only we had someone looking to retire.
Soon.
Loading screen. I like how it just says, fight. Where's he at, Lothario? Oh, I didn't find out Rift Apart came out on PC until you told me earlier today, Act. So I think you saw my shock firsthand. Derelict Outpost. I don't know where that is. Are you the Derelict Outpost? Nope. Wait, no, that is the Derelict Outpost. Okay, so southwest.
It's strange. There are still signs of the world serpent all over the lake. But we saw him disappear at Ragnarok.
That could only mean the legend was true all along. That blow from Thor sent Jormungandr straight back in time. A younger Jormi, fresh from Jotunheim, would grow into the serpent we know.
When we first met the snake, you said that he found Atreus familiar. Perhaps they met in Jotunheim.
Perhaps so, brother. We'll have to ask the lad for that story when we next see him.
And now that Odin's dead, we can just talk about that kind of thing.
How are you in there so deep?
Am I hearing voices again?
You are Atreus' friend.
Ah! Oh! Hi! Hey! You're Loki's dad, right? Saw you at the whole Ragnarok thing. I'm Skilder.
The lad who's been organizing the displaced Midgardians. What are you doing?
Oh, Loki told me this story about Odin inviting him to Asgard and giving him an Aesir coin that you threw away, and well, I thought I'd come here and see if I could find it. And I did, if you can believe it. But, it's kind of stuck, because you're, like, crazy strong, apparently. I'm sorry. Did you want to keep it?
No. It is yours.
You sure? It's probably really valuable. I mean, that's not why I'm after it, but if I were gonna sell a genuine Asgardian artifact touched by at least 3 gods, I'd expect that'd fetch, well, a whole lot. Probably enough to buy my own boat, set out, and make my fortune.
The coin is yours. Good luck to you.
Thanks. You too. And, if you see Thrud, never mind.
You wished word of Thor's daughter.
Thrud? You saw Thrud? How is she?
She is well. She has recovered her father's hammer.
Oh, that's amazing. Don't you worry. She's gonna do good with that thing. She's an amazing person. Probably my favorite. I mean, not like that. She doesn't have time for boys, but I don't care. She's just great. Is it getting warmer? I feel like it's getting warmer. How about that thaw?
You need help getting the freaking coin out? No? Just asking.
That's another raven sent to the Tree of the Dead. Perhaps we should check up on it, hmm?
And yes, we went to Kratos' lodge. Pika. Yes, we understand what crushes are. We've been there. Most of us have been there. Okay, you know, I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm gonna give a negative to gameplay. I just love hating on games. That's what it is, you know. I'm a ball of negativity and hatred that cannot stand good things in life. It's actually for walkthroughitis. This is a lot of neat little content that should be a quest log. And we know they have quest logs in this game. The little favors. They should be in the freaking log. There should be a thing. Skoldir's over here. Thrud's over here. Like, there's been a couple of indications of where all this crap is, but I never would have run into this. I have no reason to come down by here. If not for you guys being my walkthrough and telling me where to go. This stuff is decent content. It should be in the frickin' game. You know what I mean. Sorry. Just... Yeah, right? Cyber Exile? Yeah, here's just a list of everyone to check up on. And you just kind of go down the list, right? Whatever. You get the point. They want you to stumble onto it.
You once revived a giant's corpse to stop a certain fight we won't talk about. Could you call on that power again?
Maybe. Do you have a massive giant's corpse for me to revive?
No?
Well, there you go.
Good talk. Good talk. Okay, so we're going to, Praetor's Camp next. Then we'll go to Jotunheim. Well, we killed him twice, Bella, so... there we go. And... Go.
To Vanaheim, then.
Sounded like Lady Sif managed to
The
convince
wisps
the old...
are contained. We should return to the imprisonment plate.
What? And no, I did not know that, Pika. It's almost like that should have been a quest, too. But, you know, whatever. Where am I?
Here. You may tell a story, if you wish.
Am I preferable to silence at last? A rare day. I'm touched. But since you mention it, there has been one on my mind of late. It goes back to my earliest days, when I had little more to do than observe the mortals who passed through our forest. One summer, a local laird of renowned eccentricity chose to sequester himself with a small coterie of kinsmen and followers. The aim of their woodland retreat was to achieve enlightenment through study and discipline. They took oaths to brook no distractions until they became wise men.
Distractions.
Aye, women, drink, mostly women. As you can imagine, things deteriorated quickly. By autumn, tempers were frayed and wisdom remained in short supply. One day, I watched as the laird and his brother took their hunt. There they found, at the banks of a river, a lady as fair as any they'd left behind. She pleads for their assistance for fear the currents would carry her off if she tried to cross. The laird doesn't miss a beat. He hoists her onto his shoulders, carries her across, sets her down, doffs his cap, and fords back across to his brother, who is dumbfounded, can't even bring himself to speak. The day stretches on, the laird carries on hunting, and his brother quietly gnashes his teeth down to powder. Finally, the dam breaks. "Brother," he cries, "how could you do it after everything we've sacrificed? How could you break your vow like it was nothing, carrying that lass on your shoulders like you were a Shetland pony?" The laird just smiles. "Brother, I set that lass down across the river. 'Tis you that carries her still." Oh, I got a chuckle. A rare day indeed.
Okay, that's amusing. I admit it. You mean when I was moving, Mr. Red? Just to remind me a little bit here. All I ask
Enemy behind you, Kratos!
is that these guys go away, because you're pointless and worthless.
Incoming!
Is that, I get final look to make sure nothing that shouldn't be in it isn't in it. Did I give the boat positive? I meant to give the boat positive. I don't remember if I did. Hang on. Let me finish killing these wastes of time.
Good hit, brother!
Shield strike!
Go away. See you around, Dex. Get some sleep.
Well, if there's more of these Asgard fragments out there, the Einherjar will continue to be a nuisance for the realms.
Only if we do nothing. The realms will never heal if they remain.
How many more?
Only one way to find out.
Obviously, I'm going the wrong way. Let's see. The map says to go this way. Well, the map. The compass says to go this way. Let's see if I can actually read the damn thing this time.
Now, regarding security. Kratos, Freya, welcome back. Mimir?
Lady Sif. Freya. It speaks volumes seeing you here in person. The first of the Aesir to visit us in peace.
Really, Your Majesty?
It's the capacity of the Vanir's forgiveness that speaks volumes.
We know Asgard was more than Odin and his Einherjar. If they'll help us rebuild, they're more than welcome to stay.
Aesir and Vanir living together. I never thought it possible.
I imagine a severe lack of options for the Aesir helped ease things along.
Oh, Mimir. It has truly been a pleasure not listening to your prattling commentary for the last 100 winters.
Well, excuse me, milady.
100 winters of Mimir bleating at court? I think I'd rather be exiled.
Indeed. Oh, the stories I have.
Really? Do tell.
Well, everything appears to be in order here, diplomacy administered, and all's well. Let's leave these two to their planning, shall we?
Back to it then. Where can we set up the farmsteads and the granaries?
We don't do that kind of thing here. This realm provides us what we need.
What if the winter is harsh? Or if the food spoils?
Then we hunger. And we learn. Perhaps had you not burned Freyr for trying to teach you...
I did not light that fire. But I was there to witness. Even in death, Odin's legacy of poor leadership endures.
Working together, we can break that cycle faster than apart.
Okay, now, Jotunheim. And I believe that's it? Question mark? This has been a little over an hour. I'm glad we did this after the lunch break. Because we still got to actually do the audit. Ooh. Damn you, Burger. I refuse to go back to talk to Burger.
Jormungandr attacked Thor in Asgard. It seemed personal somehow. But there's no way they could have met before that, is there?
I've been pondering that, and I have a theory. We know the lad spent his time in Jotunheim learning soul magic. Perhaps the serpent figured in.
You mean Atreus placed some other giant soul into him? Someone who already hated Thor to begin with?
Exactly! Though that doesn't narrow it down much, I grant you. I wonder if Yorm even remembers after all this time who he once was.
Okay, fine, I'll go back to talk to Swordfaced. I mean, that's what I kept saying this whole game, Latarios. The whole game was making up that Odin was just singularly responsible for so much bad in this setting. Just so much bad. Charlie's gonna make a delicious soup someday, Pika.
Kratos.
Yeah, let me loot your stuff first.
Birger.
How do you feel?
Sorry I missed all the action. I would like to have seen Asgard fall.
Ah, you are in no condition. Besides, you've done more than enough for the cause.
You have earned your rest.
Yes. I think it may be time for this old warrior to finally lay down his sword and find a quiet place to retire.
And leave behind all your friends?
I will miss their companionship, yes. But there will soon be much rebuilding here. Not exactly the quiet I'm looking for.
Actually, I know somebody who's living alone in a quiet place who could use your help and companionship. We should talk.
I would like that.
The fact that this isn't even a quest is just bonkers to me.
There are those who wish you dead.
Greetings to you as well.
What he meant to say, dear Birger, is we believe there are some assassins looking for you. Fellow travelers, perhaps.
So my judgment is at hand. I walked the path of the travelers for many years, until I learned it was all lies spread by Odin. I'd hoped my brothers would join me.
They will not.
I'm sorry my actions have brought violence down on you. If you run into any of my former brothers, do what you must.
Hi to Quack, bye to Quack. If you want to add a glance, look at the story, look at the gameplay. Yeah, RPG trap. Pretty much. I mean, I've seen worse games on the gameplay axis, but I know that you... Oh my god, if this game had God of War 3's gameplay axis, this might actually beat GTA 5 if that were true. Jesus. Anyways, if you ever wonder why I tend to come down so hard on games that have good story and bad gameplay, because I know that's kind of a me thing and most people don't agree with me on that, all you have to do is think about it like this. Remove the story from the game. No, I'm dead serious. Just do it. Right now. Take those 126 positives and those 6 negatives and eject them. When all you're left with is this, you start to see why it bothers me so much. Imagine playing, what are we up to, 40 hours? I haven't been keeping track. I've got the numbers right there. I haven't tallied them up yet. Imagine playing a long game with this gameplay axis. Right? Hi, Not Zero. And I do hope to see further Mario stuff. Pika. Ow, 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 ow. Ooh. What's that?
Spoke of your brother's sword. How did Odin acquire it?
I'll answer this one. Odin, disguised himself as the most beautiful person Freyr had ever seen.
This separated Freyr from his sword.
Oh, with embarrassing speed.
I am glad Freyr ultimately retrieved it.
Me too. My little fool.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and chop off the golden number guesses basically now. This is your final chance. Need to look something up really quick. Yeah, that's what I thought. I would probably hate Freyr in real life, but he's an interesting character. I would say Odin is about equal to Palpatine in manipulation. I know that sounds strange, but it's because their styles are completely different. Odin was a personal abuser. The kind of stuff that you would see in real life. Palpatine is a politician. He's a little bit more leaning towards... well, Bismarck, to be honest about it. So, the variance there speaks for itself, I think. Witcher 3 will not beat GTA 5, to be very blunt. But, I do think that, it's down here. I do think that Witcher 3... so first of all, Witcher 3 is before the Oblivion line.
Never thought I'd want to go back to Midgard.
There may be more to explore.
I'll have your back.
I'm not sure how well Witcher 3 would score. I don't think the gameplay axis of that game will do particularly well, though. I think we'd see this situation. Very high story, average gameplay. Hey, we found you someone to take care of you.
Is someone inside?
Yes.
Warming up already, isn't it?
Birger,
Hello.
you came.
Indeed. Seemed a perfect place to retire. Maybe write a book. It is your home if you wish me to leave.
No. It's good that he has someone.
Will you stay?
There is still much to be done.
Then we will wait. And when it is time to rest, I will keep the hearth warm.
Thank you, Birger.
I think Witcher 3 manages to have such a high story score in part for pretty much the same reason this game does, because of its story presentation. They use the BioWare approach to cutscenes, but they do a really good job of it. In fact, the best I've ever seen. My opinion. Granted, the last time we reviewed it was before the current system, so who knows. What am I doing? Alright, you guessed, right? You guessed, you did it, cool. Oh, absolutely, von Falkenstein. It's one of those weird things because a lot of people deride the BioWare approach to cutscenes, but I'm not one of those people. It's a really, really good way to template cutscenes. It just has to be done properly. Everything, WoW TNT. In fact, if you just type into chat right now, !Oblivion, you will get a description and an explanation for the matter. Okay, now to Jotunheim.
Ah, if I had a stomach, it'd be twisting right now.
Odin is gone. There's no remaining threat.
No, it's from excitement. Hardly any non-giants have gotten the great privilege of visiting the realm of the Jotnar.
It's truly an honor to be among a very select few. So this is Jotunheim.
As beautiful as the stories. And then some.
It's okay. I guess. Actually, real talk, this is my least favorite realm, visually speaking. Go ahead, make fun.
Company's here, Finn.
Angerboda,
Kratos, Mimir, Freya. It's good to see you.
I wish to thank you for creating a path out of Asgard for us.
Aye, a true pleasure to meet the lassie who saved our skins.
Indeed. Your giant stuff magic is truly a marvel.
We were so glad we got there in time. Freya, your brother's sacrifice won't be forgotten.
It won't.
I will say, you'd made quite the impression on our Atreus' heart.
Mimir.
Oh, like you weren't thinking it, brother.
Ahem. You're a cherished ally, Angerboda. I hope we cross paths again.
I imagine we will. There's lots to do, and I'm just getting started.
Boy.
There. We had an interaction to pet the dog.
Kratos?
Whoa.
The last time you were here was because of Faye, right?
You saw this in prophecy.
Your son told me. It's a beautiful place to rest.
It is what she wished.
And now she's dead. The end. Alright. So that's everything I had on my mental list. Is there anything else we should do?
You painted these shrines.
Some of them. Some I finished for my mother.
Your work is beautiful.
Your skill with a brush is unmatched, Angerboda.
My son. He draws.
He told me.
Although he'd do well to learn from your use of color.
We come from a long line of artisans, so he has it in him. He just needs some discipline to bring it out.
I like you. Angerboda, you are the last giant left in Jotunheim.
No, actually. My grandmother, Gryla. She's, not really one for visitors, but she's still here. She's helping me forage at the moment.
After all you've done, lass, she must be so proud to have a granddaughter such as yourself.
She might be. Someday. I don't know quite yet, but I think it's a start.
You know, usually I'm pretty good at analyzing and interpreting things, Mike Romano, but I gotta be honest, you lost me. I give up. Is it a riddle? Oil. No, blood. Salt? Is it a hole? It's a hole. It's a hole. I got it. I found it. It's a jackal. It's a jackal. So that does appear to be it. And of course, you know where you want that to go, please let me know, Mike Romano. Thank you for being part of the show. Hey, someone got the reference. Such a dumb reference. I remember so many stupid things. If anybody wants to point me towards Tyr, like if he's near a waypoint, then sure. If he's not, then he must die. I hope you have fun, Pika. Well, there's only one waypoint here. It's right next to Hell's Perch. I feel really bad because I figured out the riddle instantly. I can prove that because I did it on the VOD. Like seconds after he said it, I was like, hole. It's a hole. Just like that. I was like, oh, whoops. Sorry. Sorry. My bad. Yeah, that's the nice part, Dante Bronson. You put him towards a game you want to see streamed by Clemano.
Is that Tia?
What is he doing?
Talking.
Awful quietly.
There are other ways to communicate.
Am I interrupting anything here? Are you gonna say anything, Tyr? Is this it? Is this all there is to it? Can I kill you, Tyr? No, okay. Okay, next. Let's go to Muspelheim. He is saying stuff. I'll take your word on that. Let's get out of here. No, dear Whiteness. Well, probably not. And thank you, Papa Neeks. I do appreciate. I always do. If you happen to know where you want this to go, please let me know. Railway Empire. Got it. Fun moment. When's the pruning happening? Would you believe it's currently in the process of happening? Because I want to do it all manually, it's taking a while. So in my off hours, aka during lunch break and the like, I've just been bit by bit working through it. I wouldn't worry about Railway Empire if that's what you're asking. Obviously, since you just donated towards it. Papa Neeks is putting that towards... Hang on. Contradiction, Darkest Dungeon 1, and the Doom Block. Thank you again. When does the pruning happen on stream? Whenever I'm done. I'll put it to you this way. The list and the sheet will not be updated until the pruning is concluded. So the next time there's an update, it's already happened. Pruning is when you get rid of dead fruit that's dangling on a tree and causing damage to the tree as a whole. When you get rid of the chaff. When you burn the excess garbage under the underside. I'm trying to think of another analogy to use here. I'm failing at it. There's a lot of dead fruit at the bottom of the list. It needs to not be there. So it won't be. That's it. I'm going the wrong way. Cool. I like going the wrong way. I want to go this way. At this point, I'd say it's at least reasonably likely, Lataria. At least to the more learned of people. Well, it's like this. Let's say there's... The reason I've been doing it manually is because it's not like if any game... Yes, I forgive you, Papa Neeks. I'm sorry for being so upset about it. It's just damn it, man. But I apologize, and I accept your apology. What some people will do is they'll be like, alright, so... God damn it. Any game that doesn't meet this completely arbitrary requirement will be removed from the list. And it'll be like a percentage of money, or how long it's been since it's been added to the list without interest, or whatever, right? That's called lazy mode. That's when you just use an algorithm to do your job for you. Unfortunately for you, I am not YouTube. So what I've been doing is I've been determining which runs deserve to be pruned based on manual pruning. Manually going through the list and figuring out what's what and where. Do you mind?
Watch your right!
Literally a waste of my time. I tell you what, Papa Neeks, I will forgive you if you go and kill this kraken.
Can't they sense Odin is dead?
They are soldiers. They will always be loyal to him, alive or dead. It is a matter of honor.
Yes, they will continue to follow his order. And keep the realms under his thumb.
Not for long, they won't.
There are over 100, Blade Javal. Savicom very helpfully got me a script together so I could track which games have less than 1% funding. It only accounted for 100 entries, and it filled over the brim. Like, it overflowed.
You know, back in Jotunheim, I had half a mind to ask Angerboda what exactly her intentions were with the lad. But one look at her, and any doubts I had melted away.
It's a question every parent must grapple with sooner or later.
I trusted her with my life. I trust her with my son.
You can't argue with that.
There will probably be a short dark. A few weeks from now, maybe a month or two. Something like that. I've put off getting back to the rewrites for too long. And at some point we need to go back to the new, the correct streaming schedule. And restart the Streaminations. Excellent! You have done well, Papaneeks. But... oh god, I can't think of anything. Olympus has not forgiven you. We do, however, elevate you to God of War. Because Christmas is an excellent stream time, Von Falkenstein. It'll be a good excuse to stay away from my biologic family.
Surtur sacrificed himself for Ragnarok.
Perhaps he was able to find peace after all. I always felt sorry for him and Sinmara.
She's still alive, if you wish to speak to her.
I was in Niflheim briefly. A weeping emanates from the realm. I think she's grieving. And may grieve for a long while yet.
Okay. Next. I hate to sound dismissive, but I'm not been impressed with these little tear cutscenes so far. Like, it's neat that they added them, but at the same time, there's not that much to them.
Circling back to the topic of prophecies brought about by the efforts to avoid them, I think I can recall such a story as you mentioned, brother. A Greek tale for the stage. Rather lurid, but very popular. You know the one?
Every Greek knows the tragedy of the Theban king.
Yeah, word gets around about that sort of thing.
Yeah, my videos need more schlock. More drama and more reality TV. Then I'll really get into the big games. To list some examples, since it's not like I have anything else to talk about right now. So, there's plenty of games on the bottom that are in the 1% range that were just added to the list. Obviously, those don't get pruned. There's plenty of 1% games that are there just because the game is really long, but it has a dedicated group of people who've been donating towards it over time. So those don't get pruned. And then there's some 1% games that are games that I know I'm going to play someday, so those don't get pruned. I should probably mention something else. I was hesitant to even say this out loud. Not that I like being duplicative, but I found that some people don't react well to being told the truth, as absolutely bizarre as that sounds. So what I'm doing is, rather than any of the many, many other different things that we do for whenever we've pruned games off the list before, I'm just putting them on hold. There's actually a secondary list, which I'm keeping track of now, which has all the donations and the people who donated for them and all the information as if it was still a run that was active. It's just not going to be on the list. Effectively pruning it off the list. That way, if there ever is a time at which it does get pulled back into reality land, then I can just restart from wherever it paused. Make sense? Now, the problem is we tried something like this once, and all it did was resort in people constantly trying. We called it the archives, the lockbox, or something like that. And every time we did that, people would just immediately donate $1 to the lockbox game to get it out of the lockbox, and then ignore it again until it fell back in. And the vault, that's what we called it. And that was not a winning strategy. That didn't work. So don't do that. If you really want one of these games to be played, well, that's understandable, and we can talk about it. But in general, the whole point of trying to get rid of this stuff at the bottom of the list is to keep the stuff that isn't going to happen off the list. It's why I call it the dead fruit. It's the dead fruit at the bottom of the barrel, the runs that are never happening. It isn't public on Wolfenstein. Although you're right, the vault was public, so that is my fault. So this is Alfheim. And by the light, which of course I don't have a thing down there, so we'll go with this one. Is it possible to directly fully fund a game? Yes, but it's unlikely.
Alfheim? What's there?
We may have missed something.
Lead the way.
To use an example of the kind of games I'm talking about, I'm pretty sure Railway Empire is not particularly funded. But it is something that someone has put legitimate and consistent interest towards. That's not dead fruit. That's just a game that's taking its time. See the distinction? Or Stranger in Paradise, which is an example I brought up the other day. That's not a dead fruit game.
I see another realm tear from Garn. Shall we close it?
Nah. What? I don't care. If there's a game you can think of that you're worried if it's going to be pruned, there's a decent chance it isn't going to be. So let's follow the arrow. I look forward to it, CyberXL. I'm gonna laugh if I really like the gameplay of it. Gollum is on the list and is not up for pruning because it was recently added. It hasn't been dead. Like dead fruit. If someone donated $2 right now to, I don't know, dumb game number 57, which is nowhere near as good as number 55, then I'm not going to immediately prune it. That's kind of being a dick, isn't it? I legitimately cannot understand, like, I can't gauge whether or not that game is dead fruit if it's only been on the list for, like, a day, right? Or a month or whatever.
You don't like riddles, eh?
No.
Oh, you just haven't heard any good ones. Here. I'm tall when I'm young, short when I'm old. What
A candle.
Yeah. Heard that one before?
No.
Oh. Well, did you like it?
No.
I feel like Kratos doesn't like riddles. I don't know. The Riddler would hate Kratos so much.
Freyr. He forged a piece.
Of a sort.
Wish I could have seen that.
I'm sure he wished the same.
If you'll excuse me, I wish to pay my respects to your brother. In my own way.
Of course. Let's go, Kratos.
Yeah, I'd hate for you to actually be a character in this game, Tyr. Jesus Christ. That's a good point. Kratos is actually extraordinarily accustomed to riddles, isn't he? Frickin' oracles, am I right? Yeah, I just...
Somewhere out there, there's a riddle you'd enjoy, and I'm going to find it.
Do not.
Once spoken, instantly broken. What am I?
Secret.
Correct!
I was not answering the riddle.
Ah.
God damn it. I was hoping to get to the Mystic Gateway before I see Innocence's donation, but this is taking me a minute because I'm stupid. I don't know what to expect of Tyr going forwards. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't touch on the Norse lands at all from this point onwards, though. Really. Like, the Norse story is kind of concluded. There we go. Okay. Alright, no science. Let's see what this is. Well, thank you very much for the donation, Associates. I will immediately put that towards dumb game number 57. Hang on, what's the 57th game on the list? Now I'm curious. Hang on. Horizon Forbidden West, which is a damn shame because dumb game number 56 is the BRPG block. I do like that idea, Not Zero, and they could reuse some assets to make it a little cheaper too. Dealer's choice. Thank you, Anosians. Are there any other tier things? Actually kind of running out of places to go. We did Muspelheim. Midgard. Midgard's pretty big. Oh god, we did Helheim, I think. Or did we do Niflheim? We didn't do Niflheim. Hang on. Or, I mean, we kind of did Niflheim. But hang on. The statue. Okay. Hang on. If Tyr could just cross dimensions, that's curious. Makes me wonder how.
I'll take those Vanaheim crests off your hands if you like.
Our souls transformed, our minds remained. Until those two perverted became.
Okay, well that's awful.
In life we hanged, in death we kneeled, until you freed us with your steel.
Still messed up.
Ravens free their spirits somehow. Good to know.
Free?
Well, free of Odin's control, anyway.
Yeah, we're gonna pretend we never saw that. I think that's the best possible outcome here. Yeah, let's do that.
I suspect the Raven Tree isn't going anywhere. Just in case there's anything else you'd like to do.
They do end it, you're right.
Ah, Midgard.
It may still hold secrets.
I'm with you.
But not like in a romantic way, that would be creepy. In unrelated news, I've decided to adopt your son. Yeah, the story ratio is kind of bonkers, Ross, honestly.
Something else I recall about that Greek play I mentioned, if you won't take offense to the critique. As a work-up performance, it consisted almost entirely of watching people give speeches and receive terrible news. Might have been nice to see more events dramatized instead of described.
It is Greek tradition for a story to unfold in a single time and place uninterrupted. It is more clear.
If you say so.
That's actually been such a long-standing debate that it predates before me being born. That's an interesting question, Ross. I'm not sure.
Kratos, a raider encampment.
Shall we take care of them, brother?
Sure, Papanikes, hit me. Northeast of the temple. I'm just getting all kinds of directions here. I'll just kind of go up there, I guess. A secret boss battle. With young Atreus. Da 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 da. Someone do me a favor and tell me what the net gameplay score was for Baldur's Gate 3, please. No reason.
Brother, I've been meaning to ask. Your homeland. I'd heard the gods there wielded every flavor of power you could imagine. Lightning, fire, the whole lot.
As did I, for many years.
Oh. Any chance you could recall some of that magic?
No, but I have tried.
Magic is bound to the earth. When your homeland died, your powers probably went with it.
Well, probably for the best. Let the past stay in the past and all that.
Yep, new game. No need to... Alright, hold on. Okay, it's over there. Behind us. Yeah, thank you for the link, Not Zero. I am gonna poke at New Game Plus. It's probably the last gameplay pluses this game's gonna get, and it needs them. Oh god. There you go. The next timeline, or the next mythos will be Germany bailing out Greece. I'm sorry, I know I shouldn't joke about that, but, you know, shrug. There he is, I think. Hang on, really quick. I will legitimately be shocked if it's anything other than Egypt. No joke. It's kind of the correct choice from a lot of different angles. So I would legitimately be astonished if they go any direction other than that. My runner-up pick, not that I want this, but my runner-up pick would be Japan, by the way.
I would be left alone, please.
Of course.
That's it? I came all the way out here. Yes, Latario. God damn it, Tyr. You little snothead. There's been some cool post-game cutscenes. The Tyr ones are not on that list.
There, fancy a riddle.
If you fancy a boot to the head.
Riddle solved.
That was a tough riddle. Yeah, Odin was a disgusting, despicable, terrible person, but at least he was an interesting character. God damn. We haven't done Svartalheim yet. Let's do Svartalheim. I'm kind of leaning towards agreeing with you, Blade Ball. Yeah, Odin was a great character played by a great actor. Which is what it is.
Look, there's some debris over there. I'm guessing from Tyr's poor statue.
Defend the peace.
I remember the Jotnar crafting these bracers for Tyr's statue. They chose only their most talented and accomplished to do the job.
You have a good memory, Freya. Like Tyr, the Jotnar also believe the best offensive strategy is a good defense. So, this is how they chose to honor him.
The Giants were not wrong.
Okay, well, it just says Watchtower, so I guess we'll go there.
Back to Svartalheim.
There may be more resources to gather.
Sounds like a plan.
Damn right, we need to do more side stuff. Pretty much what resource gathering is. Oh man. We're almost up to 2 hours of this so far. I mean, other than the obvious comparisons to Zeus, I haven't thought of Odin as a dark mirror to anyone, admittedly. I could see the connection to Atreus there, though. It might be one of the reasons why he was so earnest with Atreus. Alright, Tyr, where you at? Where you at? Where you at? And we're gonna walk up and Tyr's gonna be like, go away!
It's still here.
Aye.
But it's no longer chained. You freed it?
Tried to. But as you can see...
Even if he couldn't escape, some part of him appreciates what you did.
If you say so.
I was a prisoner of Odin's. Same as this creature. Same as you. I assume Kratos took your head.
Aye.
And do you resent him for his inability to free your body?
Of course not. But...
Then perhaps you have some idea of how this creature feels.
Wow, that was
Leave you in peace.
Actually a conversation from Tyr. The very, very first time Tyr has anything worth a damn to talk about. Holy crap. The one good one, yeah. Okay, so let's head to Muspelheim.
You bring the material,
Go die.
This will be of use.
I'm not in the mental zone I need to be to do a super optional fight right now, so we're just gonna go die. Yep.
Now, let's see which armpit of Muspelheim that seed leads to, huh?
Muspelheim. I thought the climate would be pleasant after Midgard's winter. I was wrong.
Aye, but it's a dry heat.
We've done several of the Berserkers, but we're not going to do all of them. That's going to take forever. If you really want me to do all the Berserkers, I guess I can. At least they're on the map.
What?
I have seen a sword like this before. It holds combat challenges.
We could always warm up first.
Oh, excuse me. All right. Okay.
Traitor! Gna. She's fierce. Attack only if you think we are ready.
Good! I'll see you pay for what you've done! Kneel! God of no one! This was inevitable! So is this! You abandoned me! Rise! Rise! Soundstone! Die!
And we're dead. Shit's kind of hard.
Careful, brother! You're covered in Bifrost!
And we're dead again. Yeah, she hits really hard.
Perhaps
I mean,
we should reassess our resources first.
frankly, no, Cyber Exile. But that's not the point. Like, in lore, this is probably a fight that Kratos and Freya can just kind of crush. I mean, we killed Odin. Granted, we had Atreus for that fight, but still. Oh.
Are you paralyzed by fear?
Nope. Disinterest. Although, if you're not going to shut up. No signal. I mean, honestly, that sounds like a lot of the boss fights in this game, James Carmichael. Oh yeah, there's New Game Plus. God damn it. God damn it. I honestly forgot it was even there. Good afternoon, Emperor Valerian. I have never seen that, Morgantus. I'm not sure I believe you've seen that. That sounds a little bit, fantastical. Really?
I hope Fenrir got some sleep. Maybe he'll be ready to eat when we get home.
He is.
We can and have given negatives for New Game Plus before. In fact, we just did that with Dragon's Dogma. We also tend to do that for Dark Souls games as well.
He keeps eating. I'm not giving up on him.
Bloodborne and Elden Ring being the only examples on the book.
Hear that?
Yes.
Is it hurt?
Well,
in the Soulsborne examples, it's the mandatory nature of the New Game Plus.
State is not far.
Get ready. Falcon!
Basically, a New Game Plus with bad options is what I would call that. Hey, it's Freya who's helping me with the Gugnir fight, or whatever her name is.
She wouldn't give up that.
It's true of Unfalkenstein.
She never does.
Let me give you another example of a negative for New Game Plus. Final Fantasy IV on the DS, which has 3 total New Game Pluses that it gives you. Very, very few things actually carry forwards. And you can only do it 3 times ever, at which point you've lost. Like, you're done with New Game Plusing. I would honestly rather it not even be in the game at all. Which is pretty much the definition of a negative.
That was too close. He's coming around again!
I do not wish to fight you!
I'm losing my grip here! Father!
I have you!
I think I did, von Falkenstein.
Protection stave is near!
See, a New Game Plus that's just vacuous is generally an absence of a positive.
Please don't make me do this!
Oh yeah, and Tales of games always get negatives for New Game Plus. Another one. I hate the way Tales of games do their New Game Plus. I always have.
We're through the stave. We made it.
Let us go home.
It's Becky. Ivana. Up.
Tales of is a buy-in system. But worse than that, it's also a pretty badly designed buy-in system.
I'm sorry I couldn't take this.
On a typical playthrough, on a typical playthrough of a Tales of game, you'll get enough points to carry through, like, extremely minor things to your first New Game Plus. They really want you to go do all the optional stuff to earn carrying forward basic things like inventory into New Game Plus. I know that I'm in the minority in that opinion, but I hate that system, and it's a negative to me. I've had a lengthy discussion about that multiple times, and I hate it, and no one's ever actually changed my mind on that point. Now, the specifics always matter, but oh, I hate that kind of system. Yeah, Crosscode did a similar system, and for similar reasons. How long do I have to get to get to some friggin' gameplay? Yeah, imagine doing the boring parts of the montage. I still don't have access to my goddamn menu.
I don't hear him. He always says hello.
Atreus.
Ben here. You okay, boy?
We're at least confirming that cutscenes are skippable, so that's nice. Interactive cutscenes aren't skippable because they're QTEs, but cutscenes are skippable.
Are you ready?
Can I skip this? Nope, and I still can't access the menu. Jesus Christ.
This is your hunt.
Blah, 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 blah.
Follow.
Very well, Grimes. Fresh kill. At least it didn't suffer. Am I to decipher your grunting? Tell me your thoughts.
We hunt a predator.
A wolf. Yes.
Predators kill. It is the natural order of things.
Your words are misguided.
The coat is mine. Think of the coat as like the One Ring.
It's okay, little one.
As long as you have this coat.
Don't we? No, don't! Come on.
Don't look at me, I didn't do anything.
Wolf we found beyond our stave. He found his way inside. As I said he would. We should have acted.
It was not our concern. Now it is.
The problem doesn't have to reach our doorstep for it to be our responsibility. If we have the power to limit the harm it could cause, we should act. Who are we to hide and do nothing?
We are not hiding.
Hey, look, I know you're my one beloved wife and all, but can we get on with this, please? Good night, Not Zero. Have a good one.
Gonna make me pick that one up? Good boy.
Music fits weirdly well. That'd be funny. The creative team watches this stream somehow. And they're like, what the hell's with this music?
Faye. Faye.
Oh, hey, I can skip. Hey, the menu. Jesus Christ. Okay, so we do have our axes and our axe pieces. So, looks like gear. We do have the spear early, for example. We do have all our shields. That's good. We have our 3 Spartan Rages. We have our relics. We, of course, have the Cloak of the Black Bear. Increases immunity of it. Oh, nice. That's actually pretty nice. That is not too shabby. First melee attack after evading does damage. Whoops. And first melee attack after evading does increase damage. Yeah, that's a pretty nice set bonus. It's a shame we don't get it till New Game Plus. That sticks, that sticks, that sticks. That does not stick. And tasks stick. Not too shabby, actually. I would call that decently good New Game Plus. I've seen better, but I've seen worse. Oh, just kill me, Ross. Okay, so. It's like we keep our codex stuff, too. Well. The frying pan! Wong! And now I can put the game down. Oh, man. I'm not sure I can think of something that would be a triple positive New Game Plus other than Diablo 3. Yeah, I would say so, Andity. It's the same reason a game like Dragon Age Origins doesn't get a negative for unskippable cutscenes. Because you can up until you have to make a choice. Like, you see the logic there, right? I can't think of a game that would be a triple plus New Game positive. I'm not sure such a thing exists. What it would take is, okay, you start the new game, you know, take existing save, drag it back, and you select what you carry with you. Like the Tales of series, just a frickin' menu, right? There is, however, one other thing that could push something out up into a triple positive territory for New Game Plus. I know this because Chrono Trigger does this. In Chrono Trigger, you can New Game Plus kind of at will. As opposed to, you know, from an end game save. That kind of pushes it up a little bit. Diablo 3 is the perfect New Game Plus, but Diablo 3 got more like 6 pluses to New Game Plus. That's a little different. But yeah, something like this is double positive. Dark Souls is a positive and a negative. Or 2 positive and negative, excuse me. Something like Final Fantasy X-2 would be double positive. I can't think of any other examples off the top of my head. Oh my goodness. Please excuse me. Okay. let's do the actual audit now. Let's turn this off. Again. Yeah, it's nice. Off, please. So listen to very peaceful music while I'm tired. Great idea, Laura. Chapter select almost always qualifies as New Game Plus. We've already got precedence for that because the Devil May Cry's. That's also good New Game Plus. In fact, give me a second. We might have given that triple, now that I think about it. I'm not sure. I don't remember right now. Devil May Cry. Nope. That was double. My bad. Yep, time to crank up the rock music. Which is on the wrong tab. Here we go. Okay. Get the rock music going on. Let's see, what's the dumbest music I have? Oh, you know what? You know what I could do, actually, instead? Most of this is copy-wronged. But this isn't. Some mood music going. I will go ahead and unmute myself. I have no idea when that got muted. And I don't care. Now to kill everyone. Yeah, it looks like Question Bot died. But I did not see the question, Look, I'm sorry. The Wily bots. Another weird one. A bit shorter of a game than I thought. Only 35 hours. I would still call that a long game. But that is still shorter than it felt. Let's see, I would put the Executor up there, and the Hyperion, obviously. Past that? I suppose the Hammer, which is an ISD. Probably Guire. I never liked the Chimera. I mean, it's an ISD, and that's neat and all, but that decal was never my thing. I never liked the Normandy, weirdly enough. Now, the Normandy SR2 is okay. I wouldn't mind retiring on that ship, but I wouldn't put it in my fleet, if you know what I mean. I wouldn't mind a Daredevil from Star Trek, though. Halo ships? No, although that's a good point. I like a lot of homeworld ships. I was trying not to pick other Star Wars ships, Zactef, because I like the Venators, and I like the ISDs, and I like the SSDs, and I like the Harrowers. All of those are great ships. Oh yeah, and of course, the Hyperion. I think I mentioned that already. Okay. I remember liking the Halo ships, which is why I was reminded of the Homeworld ships. I never liked any Warhammer ships. Just not my thing. Not my style. Cathedrals in space, no thank you. Which one, Papanix? No, Loke. Just, again, not my style. I remember the Necron ships. They're the wedge things. Not this. And then, of course, there was the Eldar ships, which are all weird looking. And Orc ships, which are, of course, the best. Objectively. Oh, that's the SSD, Papanix. I already mentioned that. The Executor. The Lex. No, Moya. There you go. The Normandy SR2 is a ship I'm fond of for all the wrong reasons. That's a ship I'd want to live on. Like that's my house, right? Not my battleship, not my headquarters, not the tip of my fleet. But that's the ship I retire on and I go just live in space, right? Just me and, like, maybe one other person. Same reason I'd like the agent ship from Tor, which I think someone mentioned earlier. Yeah, exactly. It's my space yacht. Or my RV, if you prefer. one man would dare give me raspberry. Well, too big, though. Think about the time that's going to be spent cleaning that thing, James Carmichael. And never mind, you know, having to run the damn thing. Now, if you want to live with other people, yeah, that's different. I'm thinking about a ship I live on, like, by myself. Eve ships, there's one destroyer I liked, and I've never remembered what it is, and if you put it in front of me, I could probably identify it. It's one of the brown ones. But I've never liked Eve ships. I've always felt they were too weird in their design. Never caught me. Not like, say, the Homeworld ships, which is awesome. Pretty sure, yeah, Loke. No, but it's just you, James Carmichael. There's no one else on the ship. It's just you. That's the whole point. So you see why I want it to be relatively small, right? Like, that's just going to be a chore, the bigger that ship is. Now, if you got a crew, I'd retire on the Galaxy. Because the Galaxy is a freaking luxury condo in space. Yeah, I think that's part of what bothers me about it too, Bladesfall. I've never been a big fan of asymmetry. Yep, that's right. It's a luxury condo with holodecks. Enough said. The Ebon Hawk could work. It's probably my favorite of the Corellian line overall. I wouldn't, like, it wouldn't be my first pick or even my fifth pick, but if you gave it to me, I'd be happy with it. Oh, I've seen Stage 9 thing. Yeah, go figure. A show whose average set size was like the size of my bedroom here didn't really do a good job of getting across how gargantuanly huge the galaxy actually is. Deep Space Nine is another interesting example because we don't really see how colossally huge Deep Space Nine is. Like, really think about this. That thing is a city in space. Like, I know they've got the turbo lifts and all that, but have you ever seen those things? Yeah, no, that's not cutting it. There's probably transporters to get around on that freaking station. Yeah, multiple Galaxy-class heavy cruisers can dock with Deep Space Nine simultaneously. It's huge. Yeah, that's why it's a town. It's a hub in STO. No, that's not it, Loke. Hang on a second. It might not have been a destroyer. It wasn't that high up. You know how you start off with like a dinky little freighter and then you get like a fighter and then you get access to like one thing above that? The one thing above that is what I had. It was as far as I ever got in that game. There's probably a lot more ships than that since then, honestly. No, I think it was Amar. Hang on. It was the Coercer. The Amar Coercer. Here, I'll link you, Look. This thing. This is my ship in EVE Online. I was actually pretty proud of it and enjoyed it. And then I played the game more, and then I stopped enjoying it quite as much. No offense to anybody who likes EVE Online, but that turned out to be very not my thing. Not a big fan of PvP. Probably the best story I've ever reviewed, Scott Skywalker, regardless. And, gameplay was middling. There's actually several of those, Cyber Exile. Like, there's been a few made over the years. It's funny, is I like spreadsheet economics quite a lot. It's why I was hoping to like EVE Online. I'm really into economics, and I love my spreadsheets, right? Just, yeah. I am not giving this game a replayability positive. I don't think I need to explain that. Also, love me some Stellaris. Have you played the Star Trek one that just came out, like, last week? Star Trek Infinite? No judgment, just curious. I'm looking forward to poking at that myself. I've heard very mixed things about Infinite, so it's kind of slotted into that. I'll make my own opinion of it someday. Because I've heard people think it's better and not better, and you know, just good and bad and all kinds of other things all over the place. It's the same thing I've been hearing about Starfield. So that's just slots into the. I'll make up my own mind when we get there. I mean, that's possible, Ross. Although, which ones have you played, if you don't mind my asking? Yeah, no, that's pretty much what I was expecting from Infinite. Like I said, we'll see someday. I'll get there someday. I mean, granted, if you don't like Stellaris, you probably don't like 4X games, and no judgment. But Stellaris is probably one of the space-bound 4X games. That's kind of like, if you don't like that, probably best to walk away. Now, if you don't like Season 3, Episode 1 of TNG, you probably don't like Star Trek, right? Well, on that, we must professionally disagree, Mike Tamano. I posit that Season 3, Episode 1 of TNG is the Star Trek episode. And I know this because not only have I put a fairly large amount of thought into it, but I've used it as a test case to see if people like Star Trek, and it has been a successful test case every time. I have not, in fact, used any other episode. There are probably other episodes that are equally as good. But since I have found a successful episode which works perfectly well, I see no particular reason to look for another one. One moment. Oh my gosh. Good news. The game does have a net positive gameplay. Of 3. Yes, that's the whole point, Mike Kamano? Season 3, Episode 1 of TNG is not a good episode. It is a Star Trek episode. That's the whole point. I feel like I'm not communicating myself correctly here. God damn it. It is better than a negative. Yeah, no, Von Falkenstein's correct. You never show a good or a great episode or game when you're first trying to get someone into a franchise. You always want the seminal one, the thing that is most like the whole franchise. The thing that most embodies it in terms of either gameplay if it's a video game, or just how it's presented and how its story is if it's a show. That's why I picked that episode. It's an episode which is heavily character-focused. It doesn't have a bad guy of the week. It has the positivity, the generally redemptive arc. Humans are trying to be better thing that is very Star Trek. I don't know what else to go with that. There's several other reasons, which I can't think of right now because I'm trying to do math in my head. What's 32 plus 29? 61. God. I just had to do that in my head, apparently. I don't recommend Who Watches the Watchers because I know a lot of people who hate that episode. And it tends to provoke such a reaction that I'm not sure that's a good seminal episode for Star Trek. Just my opinion. Oh, there we go. I'm gonna say, would I recommend any TOS episodes? Actually, yes, believe it or not. Oh, that makes me so happy, and I can't even put it into words. Oh, sorry. I just finished figuring out the golden number. I'll explain in a minute. The episode with the Horta, Mike Kamano, Devil in the Dark, is a seminal TOS episode. And I mean that. It actually hits pretty much every single beat that Evolution does of TNG. So it's a seminal episode for the exact same reasons. Where's Baldur's Gate 3? Where's Baldur's Gate 3? Ah! Ladies and gentlemen, people are gonna hate me. Let me just take off my shirt here. Ladies and gentlemen, God of War 5. Story plus 127. That is a new record, by the way. Not counting... Oh, no. Hang on. Just double check. Yep, I'm right. That is a new record. It beats Mass Effect 2 by 1. And it deserves it. It absolutely deserves it. You know, obviously MMOs don't count. So absolutely colossally huge story axis, and that's exactly what I was expecting from this. That's 3.5 positives per hour to story, and a story ratio, and this is bonkers, of 95%. That might actually be a record for story ratio, not counting the hundreds, because hundreds are different. That's really, really good. Mass Effect 3? Jeez, I don't know. I recommend watching my Mass Effect 3 review to find out why it got -24 to story. Yeah, no, God tier story, absolutely. Of all, I have several legitimate complaints about this game. Narrative is not one of them. Gameplay. +3. That's not as great. That is 0.09 positives per hour, and a ratio of 52%, which is not good. That's pretty much middle of the road. That's very close to being mathematical mid, which is 0. Now, I was curious of a couple of other golden numbers, so let's look at this here, shall we? Baldur's Gate 3, which is another high story, low gameplay game, got a 208. Mass Effect 2 doesn't count. Mass Effect 2 had a decent gameplay score. God of War 3 got a 202. So there's your thing. God of War 3 got 202. Which means this game gets... Drumroll, please. $186.59. That is still an extremely good score if you know anything about this series and how these scores line up. But doesn't quite beat God of War 3, or should it? And it does not actually beat Baldur's Gate 3, nor should it. Writing down a few things here. It does beat God of War 2, which it should. As usual, score reflects reality. But yes, we have not actually reviewed God of War 4, so I don't know would be the answer to that. Let's see who won, shall we? Where did I put that? Here we go. 186. 186. Looks like that's going to be Sputnik Lock. Unfortunately, I have not reviewed Ghost of Tsushima yet, so I'm not sure. I liked Ghost of Tsushima quite a bit, but I don't know how it compares directly. Yeah, it looks like that's Sputnik Lock. You win! Not that you're here. I will put that towards Starfield. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been God of War 5, or 9, or 15, or whatever the hell it is. I guess I could kill the epic music. I hope you all have enjoyed. I really do. I'm going to go throw together a brief post-stream wrap-up thing. Wash my face. Fall over in my bed for a few minutes. Tomorrow, StarCraft Vanilla. That'll be a trip. I'll see you guys.